I came to the Healing Sanctuary because I was having a lot of fatigue. I wasn't feeling very good. I've struggled with some fertility stuff, and I'd seen lots of other doctors and didn't see really any results. So I ended up looking on the website and I really liked what I saw. So came in to see what he had to offer, just have a consultation with him at first. When I first came in to see Dr. Baker, it was a very refreshing experience. I felt like he really cared about me and what was going on. It was the first time I'd had a doctor really sit down and talk to me about what had been happening in my life leading up to this point. And I remember the one thing he said, I told doctors I'd been feeling really tired and fatigued for a long time. And they always just marked it up to stress or not sleeping well. And he says, so let me get this right. You've been tired for 10 years. And I was like, yeah, when you say it like that, that sounds more extreme. And so he was like, that's a problem. And so he ordered all the tests. And when I met with him, he explained everything really well and went over, and it was really refreshing to feel like somebody cared about everything I had been experiencing with the tiredness and the fertility stuff and just not feeling well and not being able to function day to day, and it continually getting worse. I felt like he really cared and wanted to get to the bottom of it. So he diagnosed me with lupus, and that was a really big thing to hear. And it felt really heavy at first, and I loved the way that he approached it. It wasn't a heavy thing to him. It was just no, it's okay. We've got the diagnosis, and now we have a treatment plan in place. And that's when he started explaining to me about the ozone. And I was excited to hear that he wasn't just going to put me on a pill that I was going to have to rely on for the rest of my life, but that there was something that was going to help long term. So I started the ozone treatments, and he recommended I start out with 8. So I went twice a week for a month. And I felt results getting better. I was sleeping better. I had more energy, probably 3-ish weeks. And then after the 8th treatment, I felt a huge difference. So then I talked to the ladies up at Ozone. They were amazing, and they're super knowledgeable and answered all the questions I had. And they recommended I do a high dose, which is 3 treatments in 1. And after that one, I have felt amazing. I'm sleeping way better. I have way more energy. And it's just made a massive difference. And I'm waiting to see when I do the next one just to kind of see how I feel. And then it's kind of my own maintenance plan at this point. So I started to get sick when I was about 16 years old. I started to get really tired. I wasn't sleeping well. I could sleep for 10 plus hours a day and still not feel rested and still feel tired throughout the day. It didn't matter how much sleep I did or didn't get. It didn't really seem to affect my energy levels at all, which then led to mental health stuff. You don't feel good physically, you don't feel good mentally. And so I've struggled with that for a long time. And I went to a couple of doctors just for some help with energy to help me so I can actually function and get up and do the things I love to do. I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and they wanted to put me on pills and stuff like that. And it just didn't feel right. So I kept trying to do a lot of natural stuff, and that would help, but I didn't feel like it was doing everything that I needed it to do. I still wasn't feeling optimal. So then I went to another doctor, and he diagnosed me with Hashimoto's and then undiagnosed me with it and just told me I needed to lose 15 pounds and that it would solve all my problems. And I was like, okay. So then he just prescribed me with a weight loss pill and sent me on my way. And that still didn't feel right. So I've been struggling with going back and forth at doctors and them diagnosing and undiagnosing and still not feeling like I'm getting anywhere. So I felt really tired and exhausted and frustrated, and I couldn't trust doctors. And even though I didn't feel like I had anybody to go to help me get my health back to where I knew it could be and where I wanted to be, really ideally. If anybody who's struggling with any autoimmune anything, I highly recommend coming and seeing Dr. Baker. Having the tests there was really beneficial to know what was actually going on in my body and to figure out how to treat it. And Dr. Baker was fantastic with explaining it and explaining options. And not only was there just ozone, and that has helped a ton. The ozone has made a huge difference in my life, but also the supplements that he recommends. And I just can't recommend him enough. The whole experience has been fantastic. And I love that I'm not stuck to a pill for the rest of my life that's just going to shut my immune system down. It feels like there's hope and that it can go away.